These contraptions here they are some very, very early helicopters. These go back to late 70s, early 80s, as I was saying. Thread belt drive driven mechanical collective pitch. The link for the tail control is right here. This link right here. You can see that how that I was doing these things back in the day, just using some very, very basic components and materials to why isn't my camera focusing in on this? There's that little pulley there. Ball these beads, to as bearings, and just some basic parts, like I said, materials, wire, plywood, aluminum. And so the motor actually goes here with another belt to this double belt pulley here. I was CNC, not CNC, but I was actually manually cutting these aluminum gears on some very early miniature lathe in mills that I acquired. So this is one of my contraptions that I built so that I can put this on a mechanical arm, and I can learn to fly helicopters. You can see here, this is the universal joint that attaches to the mechanical arm, and I have two servos. One servo connected to the side here via this ball link, and the other one is at 90 degrees underneath here. So two servos on the mechanical arm, on the base of the mechanical arm, that would pivot this forward, left, and right, and I could teach myself how to fly helicopters. And so this was one of my very first flight simulators, if you will, helicopter flight simulators. And once again, collective pitch on the tail via a belt and pulley system here. Same thing with the motor. It's a belt driven belt. I think I use a rubber band to the main motor for these particular setups here. So these are my very early trainers. This one is it's got a broken blade right here, but these are the types of blade grips that I was using. Just common radio control hardware. Those are actually clevises for control links that I use, and I use these because these, if you hit the blade hard enough, these at least snap out of the. These are the types of clevises that snap on that L-shaped wire right there, and so that's the purpose of using these on this helicopter here. And I've done the same with the rubber powered helicopters. So I wanted to capture this on these videos here. This is I just did a little while ago a video on this very early contraption of a quadcopter. This was one of my first quadcopters. I'm missing the center section here for some reason, but basically just each one independent motors. This goes back to the late 70s, early 80s. If you can imagine, how technology and the same concepts have evolved. If you consider the modern day quadcopters, what people call drones. I don't like to call them drones because drones is it's an unmanned vehicle that carries lethal devices such as weapons. So I don't like to call the drones or surveillance equipment. I like to call them quadcopters for what they are in the RC hobby industry. So this was one of my first attempts at creating a quadcopter. I didn't have flight controls. I didn't have anything. Pretty much everything was just power all the motors at the same time. I think I used an umbilical cord and just with a throttle control and just try and maintain that hover there. There was no control, independent control to each motor as we do these days, with the flight controllers. But this was my first take on a quadcopter back in those years. So I go back, quite a while. And I thought I'd do a video before I trash this. I am going to dismantle this and throw away some of the stuff right here. That's why I'm doing these videos, because this has been sitting in boxes. I don't need the stuff anymore. And once this is on record, on video, photographs, I think that's it. Mario, once again, stay tuned for more.